All right, I want to hear like your actual finals predictions and key matchups and X factors, but I got some like information on this finals as far as like historical context and just like the actual matchup itself. You know that since I kind of gave it away now, but would you have guessed that Boston is the team that's beaten the Warriors with Kerr and Curry the most of any team in the league?
What, you talking about the regular season that just passed?
Yeah, this is the first time that they play in the finals, right? And I know
yeah.
the regular season and the playoffs are a completely different animal. I tweeted about this, like, yo, I never would have guessed Boston. First of all, I would have guessed the team in the West because you play them more, right?
Play
so
them
more
more.
chances for you.
Well, how many times did they play? Only twice?
You play twice, yeah.
Yeah.
When you're a West Coast team, you play the East Coast home and home.
Home and home.
So to hear Boston in this and with Brad Stevens and now this iteration of the Celtics and a lot of the same pieces too, like I think Marcus Smart has been there throughout the whole duration of it. I never would have guessed Boston, dude.
It doesn't.
But it goes back to your matchups thing, right?
I'm telling you, I love the way the Celtics match up with the Warriors across the board. The success that the Warriors had was they try to. Well, that's every good team. They try to put their imprint on the game and how they want to play their style of play. The Celtics, I think, no one does a better job in the NBA than them doing that to teams. So it's gonna become a thing where it's like two teams trying to force their playing style on top of each other, and obviously the one that comes out with whoever style that it leads towards, that's going to be the winner. But the Warriors, what they do is they try to play the small ball and they put Draymond at the 5. And then they were throwing Looney in there in some lineups, and I don't want to go off topic here, but it's what happened with the Suns and the Mavericks in the Western Conference Finals. The Mavericks were playing small, and they had Maxi Kleber guarding DeAndre Ayton. How do you not play through your big man? They were forcing you to try and play another way and adapt, and they refused to do it, which eventually led to the Mavericks winning because they were able to play small ball, and they got away with it. DeAndre Ayton didn't become a factor, and that's it. You know how the rest went. So that's what's going to happen with the Warriors. You got a guy like Rob Williams. He's not the most skilled offensively, but just having a guy down there who's bigger than Draymond, it's going to favor the Celtics with offensive rebounding. Just rebounding in general, but especially offensive rebounding. Just across the board, I think aside from Curry, every other position has a favorable matchup. Every other position favors the Celtics. How could it not? And you're going to put the Defensive Player of the Year on Curry?
Right,
give me that matchup too.
Give
me that matchup too. I'll take that. I'll take my odds with that.
They have
if
the
Curry,
best chance to.
You get what I'm saying? Like if you look at the matchups, you're gonna have. This is how it's gonna go. You're gonna have Smart's gonna match up with Curry. Clay's either gonna be on. Clay's probably gonna go Jaylen Brown, because I don't think he can go Tatum. They're gonna put Wiggins on Tatum.
Yeah.
Wiggins has emerged as their
Especially
primary
coming off
guy.
the Luka series. Yeah,
you get what I'm saying? He emerged as their primary guy, so you're gonna put Wiggins on Tatum.
A lot of Iguodala similarities, right? Like Luka gave him 40 twice though, and it's like, oh, he did this amazing
You're
job.
right.
Come on.
He did though. He did. The one game he played exceptionally
Look,
well.
It's the same shit that we were talking about last year with like PJ Tucker on Durant. It's like, oh, he did so great. It's like, yeah, he did. He made it difficult. Durant's still going to tower over you and hit those shots. Like Tatum is still going to, Wiggins will be there with a hand in his face. He's still going to hit it because he's one of the best offensive players in the league. But those conversations are always funny when like, all right, man, he's doing this great job defensively and he has 41.
Yep.
But you make it difficult for him. You make him work. He gets that shot off with 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
I'm getting hyped talking about this, bro. I'm so juiced up. And then let me finish. It's gonna go Horford and Draymond, and then Looney and Time Lord.
Yeah.
So
Time Lord's health is going to be a big one.
That of course.
And then I feel like
so going into this, the only thing that I thought the Warriors did better than the Celtics was shoot threes. I think give me everything else that the Celtics do over the Warriors, but the Celtics bench, I don't think. You have Derek White, Pritchard, and Grant Williams, exceptional defender, could guard 1 through 5. Whatever he gives him offensively is a bonus, but he's there to play defense. But give me the Warriors bench over the Celtics bench. I think the Warriors get the nod there with Poole.
Yo, Grant Williams, has there ever been a weirder player to watch on TV? Because there are times where I see him and I feel like he's 6'2", and then there's other times I feel like he's 6'10".
Well, he plays big.
Yeah,
he plays big. That's a great
that's not
compliment.
a slight to him.
No, I know.
But I'm saying he's just like, the versatility and the way he plays.
That's the biggest compliment you could probably give a basketball player. One of is that they play big. So like someone undersized like myself, like if I were to guard someone like 6'2", 6'3", and like it doesn't look like he's getting the best of me or whatever, and I stick with him, I play big. That's like that's a compliment. That's a good thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, I know. Just watching Grant Williams, I was like,
you see, he matches up with guys like he was guarding Giannis. Perfect example.
Or like he'd be down low with Bam, and I'm like, yo, how tall is this guy?
He plays big.
And then there's other times where like he's guarding Tyler Hero or Kyle Lowry, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah,
that's what I meant by that.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yo, so
it's a good point because it's true. I mean, it means you're watching. You're not watching on IG. You're watching.
That's your favorite bar. The Celtics switching and their versatility with their length, right? I think that's big because like if you want to get like super nerdy and analytical, no team has played Golden State as well as them defensively because of their switching. And it's like per points per possession, mark switching. People love analytics, right? So they always come with these new ones. Mm-hmm. But basically in like basketball for dummies terms, it's like how many points do you get off switches? Golden State was held to 0.85 points per possession on switching by Boston. To add context, everyone else that switched, Golden State was dropping 1.3 points. So basically a half point more against everyone else. So Boston, the versatility, the length, the bigs, Marcus Smart too. I think Marcus Smart is like a $10 finals MVP bet. Like a little sprinkle. Whereas like if you're going to lay big money, you'd probably do it on
Tatum,
if you think Boston's going to win.
Right.
What do you think of I think another key matchup in this, though he's impressed me a lot, is I think the coaching.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. Absolutely.
Steve Kerr's been there, done that.
First-time rookie head coach. It's a really good point. Absolutely. I like it.
And what's really cool about this series, bro, is you got two even though Boston's played really well in the playoffs on the road, I believe they have 8 wins now with that game.
And they haven't been sharp at home.
They haven't, dude. They haven't. Like, two hostile environments. I know the old Golden State arena was way more lit, and, like, the crowd just felt different. This one's more like hipster San Francisco kind of vibe to it, where, they built a new stadium. There's always a drop-off. Right. I mean, you could attest to this. You're a Yankee fan, right? Wasn't old Yankee Stadium more lit? And it just felt
the stadium
more
used
homey.
To shake.
Yeah, where like they made a new one and it's like, okay.
Right.
So, two very unique places to play.
They called it Loud City, the old arena, I think. Remember the Believe Warriors? They used to have those shirts and it said Loud City on it and the We Believe, without a doubt. And it was the way that arena was designed too. It was something it like held the sound in, and the way it echoed off the walls was like a lot louder. I don't know. You could look it up. I'm pretty sure there's
something similar that they have in Oklahoma City. Mm-hmm. Like in Oklahoma City, they built that arena to be like a college basketball.
It'll never get that. It'll never get like that. But the Seahawks too, the Seattle Seahawks, and CenturyLink Stadium. It's the same thing. The way it's like built, and it's like built in like a bowl, like a fish bowl kind of, and it like traps the sound.
A lot of that stadium's built similar to like English soccer stadiums, where it's
Good point. Yeah.
It's a bad example in the sense where there's like 80,000 people in Seahawks Stadium. Right. But what they would do is, all right, look, we're not going to be able to compete with Chelsea and Arsenal and Liverpool and put 80,000 fans from fucking like Queens Park Rangers, but let's build a stadium that can fit 25,000 and the seats go upward as opposed to like going out. Yeah. It just feels like more like they're on top of you.
Yeah. Well, that's how the Garden is. That's what they say. It's like
except the thing that's whack about the Garden is you never see like everyone wearing all white, or all blue.
That'll never happen. Well, they'll give the shirts out, but the people will like turn them into like things to like.
Well, nah, they also go there like after work in their suits and shit. It's not as
they're cool stage.
Yeah, it's the corporate seats. That's why they say that the real fans are in the
blue seats. The blue seats, absolutely.
Even though it's $500 to get into the arena.
Also, another thing I wanted to point it out is East Coast versus West Coast. So this is gonna be I'll put money on it. It's gonna be one of the and I always talk to Uncle Bill about this. If it was like. So it's an East Coast. You have a true West Coast and a true East Coast team, right? And the traveling back and forth. Give me the younger team. I mean, you get enough days off, But I mean, the traveling in terms of like you're younger, you don't need as much time to, I think, recover from like a long flight, whatever the case may be. But we always say, I always talk to Uncle Bill and say that when a team, that's like a dream scenario for the NBA, is when you have an East Coast team and a West Coast team play each other. Because I feel like if it's two Texas teams, like we always say, or if it's like like when the Yankees played the Mets, no one on the West Coast is going to watch that. No one really cares. But if you get a team that's from the West Coast representing the West and a team from the East Coast representing the East and them to play each other in the finals, I think that's something to be said for like the dynamic and the regions and, just in terms of two sides representing each conference from that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I agree and disagree because the way the series is laid out is game 1 and 2, 3 days rest. Game 2 to 3, 3 days rest. But then game 3 to 4, 2 days rest. They play on the 8th and then on the 10th. And then games 4 to 5 is 3 days, 3 days, 3 days. So, yeah, it is a little bit more balanced. It's not every other day. It's every other day.
Well, when the game 5, 6, and 7 come, if it goes to that, the back forth, that's
one of the reasons why they do that.
That's what I have in mind when that happens. It's the Celtics are probably already out there, or they're leaving. Like they gotta already be out there. When does it start? Thursday?
Nah, it starts on Thursday. They'd probably leave. I'd say Wednesday.
Nah,
you think earlier?
I think they're already out there. They play in 2 days. It's a long. I mean, you could be right, but like for me, like if you're going there, what the point I'm getting at is, you're going there for 2 games. You could set up shop. All right, we're gonna eat here this night. We're here for 2 games.
You're talking about that for games 5, 6, and 7.
Yes.
No, that makes sense.
You get the point I'm making. Like, it's more of like a mental thing. Like, all right, okay, we're gonna be here for 2 days. Let's relax. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go. It's like a routine. You're trying to get into a routine.
This format is way better than what it used to be.
Oh,
bro.
Yeah,
2-3-2 was horrible. Son.
Yeah, but I'm saying the 1-1-1. Now we're going here for 1 game and back to Boston for another game. Like,
I'd love to go back and check when it used to be 2-3-2. How many teams would win like game 6 and 7 on the road?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a tough task, bro.
Yeah.
Back then too, like that shit had to be crazy.
I love the 1-1-1.
1-1-1 is the best one.
Thing that they did.
Even though it sucks because like the commuting, and I've heard like horror stories of
multimillionaires.
yeah. No, but a lot of like the people in sports media, when you got to go from Boston to San Fran.
Oh, I'm sorry.
First world problems, right? You get
the come on, bro. Are you kidding? I was flying the fucking in the luggage area.
Yo, last thing I want to ask you. Finals prediction in how many games? What do you got?
All right. So I'm going. You want to get really spicy?
Yeah.
I'm going Boston in 6.
Boston in 6.
That's my number 1. My number 2 would be Boston in 7. But I do think that they close it out at home. In Boston. You think about it from this. I don't think Boston's going to lose at home. I think Boston's going to go undefeated at home. And I think all they have to do is just steal one on the road. And I think that's definitely possible with the lineup and the matchups that they have.
Boston in 6 is plus 440.
Plus 440. Okay.
Boston in 7 is plus 600.
Ooh.
I feel like you bet both of those as opposed to betting plus 130 for them to win the finals. Because chances are you're not going to beat them in 5. I don't think you beat Golden State in 5.
Could happen.
Yeah, it could, but I would say there's a reason why Boston in 5 is plus 850.
Of course. Now I got something for you. Say you bet them, like you're telling me, bet them 6 and 7, and they win in 5. You know how sick I'd be?
Oh yeah.
That's terrible.
You go off on me.
Yo, that's so bad.
But yo, I did say prior for the Eastern Conference Finals, if you think Boston wins the series, wait until after Game 1. That's exactly what happened. Because there's a huge trend which doesn't apply to the finals because you have extended time off, where Game 7 against Milwaukee ends, and then they play 2 days later in Miami. Miami had, I think, about 6 days rest.
6 days rest, yeah.
So there was a huge trend where teams playing a Game 7, that Game 1, they're like 21-49. And Miami beat them in Game 1. This one doesn't apply because they played on Sunday. They're not playing until Thursday again. Yeah, Golden State's been chilling. But if they were playing on Tuesday, like if they were playing tonight, then I'd be like, yo, I'm full fading Boston. I think it's a little bit different here. It doesn't apply as much. So to me, I would probably bet Boston to win in 6 at plus 440 or to win in 7 at plus 600.
Can I say something else too? I like fuck it. I like Boston to win game 1. I like Boston to win game 1 as well. I think
so. You could get Boston to win game 1 and the series at plus 260.
that number is intriguing.
That's
to me.
pretty juicy.
Don't you think that's intriguing though?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like impossible.
Yeah. You steal home court after?
They just came off a big game 7. They're rolling. They played more recent than Golden State did. Golden State's relying on the 3 now, so they haven't been in-game shooting threes in how long?
Have you seen some of the new things you could bet on? It's called series correct win order.
Yeah.
As if they don't have our money enough.
Yeah, seriously. But it was cool because it was every other game with Miami and Boston. So it was Boston. No, it wasn't. Sorry. Miami won 2. It was Boston won game 1, right? Or no, Miami did.
No, Miami won game 1.
Miami won. Boston won. Miami. No.
It was 2-2 going back.
Okay, and then it was 1-1-1-1.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I did see that. So you go Boston, Golden State, Boston, Golden State, Boston.
24-1.
I like that. Kobe too. It all comes full circle.
Wow. Yo. Okay, so Boston game 1, Golden State game 2.
Game 2.
Boston game 3.
Boston game 4.
Boston game 4, so it would be 3-1. Golden State wins game 5.
Back to Boston GGs.
Back to Boston GGs. I'm pretty stimulated right now. 24-1.
There's a reason I'm the NBA GOAT.
NBA GOAT. Yo, so we have a running joke in our group chat. Anytime someone hits a bet in a certain sport, I just write the sport and GOAT. Like,
you're the GOAT driver. You're an idiot. But all your shit's self-proclaimed, though. Yo, no one says that.
Our buddy Essel, shouts to Essel, man. Anytime he's told us to bet the Rangers, they won. Yeah. And he doesn't tell us to bet it every time.
Yeah. It just, you know what he does? He sends the screenshot of the bet.
Yeah.
And then we just all tail
like
it.
30 minutes before. He's like, have a day, boys.
Yep.
And then you'll put in like a baseball bet. You'll hit it. I'll be like, yo, MLB GOAT. Eric will put UFC. Joey out of nowhere puts Formula 1. We're like, all right, Formula 1 GOAT. He's like 2 for 2.
Yep.
What am I, soccer GOAT?
Soccer GOAT, yeah.
OD.
Well, maybe after this weekend, maybe not.
Oh, boy.
It's all right. It happens. You can't hit them all. Only the ones that I bet go over.
Yeah.
Maybe
real.
It's me. I'm going to stop betting it.
For real. Yo, I'm going to go.
Oh, yeah. I want to hear what you guys say.
So,
I feel like I persuade you kind of because you were like everyone and also nobody. I feel like I'm the only one that thinks Boston's gonna win. Even analysts on TV, nobody's picking Boston, and I'm shocked. It's really not unless I'm missing something. Yo, if Golden State comes out and like just blows the doors off of them and like sweeps them or wins in 5, I'm gonna be shocked, and I gotta reevaluate like how I'm looking at stuff. But I really don't think it's gonna be a cakewalk. Everyone thinks it's gonna be, bro. Where do they see that? Unless I'm missing something.
Nah. And I think, an interesting take, which I don't know how many people have said this, the path for Boston has been way more difficult.
I alluded to it in the beginning. I said the path Tatum had, what you beat the Nets on the road. KD.
Golden State, we were chilling.
This too. Easy.
They call some nice breaks, right? You play Denver when you play Denver, right? Mm-hmm. And then you play in the second round. Morant gets hurt.
Morant didn't even play.
Right?
Played 1 game or 2 games.
And the games that Morant played, you can make a strong case. The drive to the lane in game 1 should have won that game. Draymond gets kicked out. Mm-hmm. They outshoot the Warriors. And then before you know it, you're down. Morant doesn't play, so that impacts them. And then you avoid the Suns team that everyone wanted to play. And you play against Luka. But he finally won a series for the first time. It's like, we did have a pretty easy path to get there. So that would be something that I would say would make me hesitant being a Golden State backer. I will say that the way I would bet this series is Golden State's minus 160. I would take them minus 1.5. So to win 4-1 or 4-2 at plus 150. That's how I would bet that.
So 3 condoms.
It's not 3 condoms. It's a little bit more than 3 condoms. So we have these also, so we add context so people aren't confused. Anytime someone makes a super safe bet, like sometimes I'll make a super safe bet, or if someone cashes out and be the cash out goat, we'll be like, yeah, how many condoms are you wearing? 3 or 4? I don't think so, man. But Golden State to win.
You ain't giving the people a value, though. I just gave them Celtics in 6, bro. At what is that?
Plus 440.
And not just that, I gave them how they're going to do it.
So Golden State to win in 6 is plus 500. For them to win in 7 is plus 350.
Yo, can we timestamp this video and this go viral?
I'm going to cut a clip, yeah.
Yeah, it's gone.
Of the layout, I'm going to bet that layout.
I am too.
24-1, that's pretty far.
I just need the Red Sox and the Dodgers to win tonight, so I have money to bet it.
Yo, so check this out. Golden State in 5. This would be the path for them to do it, right? I feel like 14-1. For them to do it, it would be they take care of business at home. So they win game 1, game 2. They drop game 3. They steal game 4, even though you think that Boston takes care of business. Mm-hmm. And then they close it out in 5 in Golden State. That's 14-1. That would be like the only way I could see them winning it in 5.
I could see that. But like I said, I don't see them dominating them.
Yo, also Boston, undefeated after a loss.
Something to be said. Coaching, taking it personal, defensive matchups, paying attention to detail on defensive end, all of that. They checked every single box with that. And if you're gonna have a team that defends the way that Boston does, they'll always be in any game.
It feels like a 7-game classic would make up for how whack the postseason has been.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why I gave my heart pick and then I gave my head pick. My head says 7. I could see it going 7, but I really think, truthfully, like down bottom, I think it's Boston in 6. I really do. Just the way they're rolling right now, and everyone's like, "Oh, they can't score with the Warriors." It's gonna be. I feel like the Celtics are gonna put their imprint on the game and make it a defensive game. It's not gonna be first one to 100 like a traditional Warrior game.